Andrew Wilson obliterates Sam Seder over this insane statement that he made. So this is due to the recent controversy surrounding Mehdi Hassan's appearance on Jubilee, where he claimed to be a fascist. The left-wing response was extreme, with many calling for his head and demanding that he be fired from his job. So Andrew Wilson does take to task and stuff on Sam Seder as well as the woke left, where he and his counterpart are actually discussing these issues and stuff, where Andrew Wilson actually destroys Seder for his insane woke comments. So we're going to take a watch of Andrew Wilson just absolutely obliterating Sam Seder for his insane statements. We'll go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Donald Trump is defying the Constitution. Immigrants overall are good for America. Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing. I'm Mehdi Hassan. I'm a journalist and the editor of Zeteo. And today I'm surrounded by 20 far-right conservatives.
Oh, they brought back
the white culture girl.
The white nationalist girl, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they stocked all. Now, what's going to be fascinating is to see the reaction of like, well, you got bad fascists in there. There are smarter fascists. Or if people are going to be like, these people are extremists. We have no policies that are like this, except for, you know, the one that Stephen Miller,
No, he got all of this wrong. Here's what actually, in fact, happened. What in fact happened is that because this guy said, I am a fascist, that's what he said, they took that, right, and mogged his employer, Pine Sap's employer, mogged him and demanded that he be fired because they were harboring, essentially from their perspective, a Nazi. So that's what, in fact, happened. I have not seen this kind of outrage from the collective left in a while, right? There, by the way, I still don't understand how we can have open and avowed communists all over these platforms. And they say that they want to remove the state. They want a stateless society. They want to overturn all of our laws. They want to get rid of the Constitution of the United States for collectivism. They want state welfare for everybody through a centralized authority. And that's totally fine. But say the word fascist, and these people lose their fucking minds, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you've got socialist parties, you've got communist parties in the United States, they're actually everywhere. Like, being a communist isn't really that hard to find, especially on the internet, especially amongst the alt-left parts of the internet. You've got guys like Vaush, who are extremely popular, who says that he's a communist. And the
Vaush, Hassan, that chick that I debated, Charlie, she's an open communist. Denham's open communist. Many open communists all over Twitch, all over YouTube, all over these platforms, and that's completely acceptable. But for some reason, the word fascist, that just means you are depersoned forever, as though that's worse than the leftist form of and that is just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, I did think in your opening monologue, though, when you were saying they got themselves a fascist, it was making me think of a bit that we could do, like a Steve Irwin bit about we caught a fascist.
Yeah, we caught a fascist.
We got ourselves a fascist.
That's right.
chief aide to Donald Trump is espousing. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with this.
Well, it seems like already in that promo, they're already triggered by the fact that Mehdi has an accent and that, you know, he's not a white person. So that might.
Actually, nobody was really triggered on the right by this. Leftists lost their fucking minds collectively, completely lost their minds, demanded the beheading of this guy, demanded that he be deplatformed from life itself. All over Twitter, you'll find right now that things like, no, he should have been dealt with a bullet. All over the place, they're saying this. It's fucking outrageous. These guys thought that the right was going to be running a cope session, when in fact what happened is the left got whipped into a piranha-like fervor.
Might bring out some new different flavors of anger from these self-avowed or self-described fascists.
Did that guy say his family goes back to the
my bad.
1500s
Yeah.
in America? Because that's pretty early for even American settlement in like most of Virginia didn't happen until like the 1600s.
Right.
But what's funny about these sorts of folks is I pissed off Confederate sort of lost cause type people on Twitter the other week ago, and I got so many insults about how I was an Ellis Island baby, and I'm like, yeah. Like that I wasn't here.
Take that.
Like during like the 1750s, my family wasn't here yet,
Right.
and that should make me feel like bad. And like, I can't tell you how. Like I'm more likely to feel embarrassed about drinking Johnny Walker Black Label than I am.
But aren't they, so
how
they're
many-
coming for the Italians and the Irish and Jews? That's basically what the implication is for
Those
Ellis
types
Island?
of folks are saying that unless you were here as like a Mayflower or like American Revolution style person, then you should.
Notice how they build straw mans and then attack the straw man. Some people said this, and so therefore this is what they all think. It's like, no, that's not what they think. Just total bullshit. Always bullshit.
Shouldn't be here at all.
But I'm sorry. The idea that those people who are saying that to you have a lineage back to the Mayflower, all of them, I find to be very, very dubious claim.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how dubious that claim is. A lot of the people who came over on the Mayflower had deep enriched roots in Europe and had all sorts of interconnected family, which was there. It is possible that, through these forms that many people probably do have ancestry they can trace back to the Mayflower, at least, through some sort of cousin relational, family tree or something like this. But even if it is the case that it's not so what? Nobody's talking about you need to have ancestors who came over on the Mayflower in order to be in the U.S. No, that's not a serious position.
I mean, he's definitely right about that, though, because why is it that the left is always using the straw man argument against the straw man itself, as Angel Wilson just said? Look, at this point, it seems to me they're definitely throwing around the word fascist and stuff, when in reality, they themselves are the fascists and stuff. Okay, they just keep on saying this over and over again and stuff. They're going after somebody, going after like a pack of piranhas, trying to tear apart his livelihood, reputation, and future over one sentence that they don't like. It's crazy how they sit on social media all day and just waiting for someone to slip up so they can cancel them. And here's the crazy part: they're shocked at the right. They're shocked that the right didn't respond with the same dramatic overreaction. Sam Seder here even predicted some kind of right-wing cope meltdown and stuff, but the right didn't have anything to say because, well, the left did what they always do, overplay their hand. You see, they couldn't just disagree with Mehdi Hassan. They had to destroy him, and when you use that kind of scorched earth tactic, I mean, don't be surprised when you actually go ahead and when you end up making the guy a martyr, basically.
I mean, these are all people who are just trying to trying to make some type of point about, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, like, what the angle is that
There is no angle, Sam, because you're straw manning the position.
that somebody even comes in 1500 is a Native American. Like, it wasn't America at that time. Like, I don't like follow what their twisted argument is.
I would call them anti-American because, look, I grew up close to Ellis Island, and call me a lib or a commie or whatever, but I was taught that the American values were one of
the Native American argument. I think that what they're just saying, and I don't know what you think about this, but I think that they're just sort of rejecting the idea of the term Native American anyway, because if you say somebody's a Native American and the Native Americans were there before the Mayflower, well, who was native to the area before that? Because they had all of these different warring tribes. It's kind of ridiculous to call people Native Americans. So if you want to say that they're Native Americans, we're just going to say that we're the native population. Yeah,
but I still don't understand the argument. Like, Can you use small words for me, Jake?
To be honest, none of us can understand their argument because of the fact that it's nonsensical. Whenever something's nonsensical, that means there's no response warranted and stuff when somebody puts that particular claim out there. And whenever someone puts out there a nonsensical argument to try to prove the opposition wrong, well, that's where they're making themselves look like fools and stuff. So that way they don't have anyone to respond back to them. But in reality, that's when people are going to push back even harder.
So I think that they're just, so it's like tongue in cheek a little bit when they say, well, we're the Native Americans, because they believe that that like their ancestors civilized America and we are the native population from their perspective. And if you call the Indians who were there before, if you say that they're the Native Americans, well, that still doesn't make sense even in your worldview, because somebody conquered them before and somebody conquered them before and somebody conquered them before.
I see. And by the way, they also came over from Asia, so they're actually Asians, right?
Yeah.
So you can just make the same argument. It's
and it was the giants. It was the giants before them, you know?
It was just a stupid, it's just a stupid reductio.
About the immigrant experience and how what made this country unique and great is what I was taught was this blending of different cultures and experiences and people trying to come here to make a better life for themselves. Now, that is also a myth that erases the genocide of indigenous Americans, and we should be clear about that. But in terms of like civic values in this country, that's what should be put back to the forefront of politics, and the Democrats shouldn't be abdicating that narrative for reasons that are based in supposedly polling, but mostly it's about cowardice and corruption.
I agree. If I mean, even talking to the Trump supporters over 4th of July, if Democrats put billions of dollars towards Ellis Island and made all immigrants go through like a process there, you'd have a lot of people that are upset about immigrants getting in. Don't get me wrong.
So divert over to immigrant speak. So the main thing, kind of the main takeaway here, was that Sam Seder was wrong in his prediction. Sam Seder's prediction for what was going to happen in Jubilee is that there was going to be massive right-wing cope, which happened around us trying to run some kind of, football play of interference so that we could be like, no, they don't really represent the right, this and that, blah, 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 blah. The right wing never really even got a chance to respond before the left was so freaked the out. They demanded this guy's head on a platter, got him fired from his job, and are moving into destroy his life forever mode. Yeah. So the thing is like ultimately, as usual, Seder gets it wrong. By the way, Seder, the chicken, called me out for debate, still refuses to do said debate.
We never really heard back from him, did we?
Still refuses to do said debate. But these people are wrong about so much of the things that they say. Now, I'm sure the next thing Sam Seder will say is that, so this guy decided that he's going to call himself a fascist and he got fired and boo-hoo. That seems to be what the left is running.
I could have sworn that he called himself that because of the fact that he was trying to go ahead and make a point. Pretty sure he wasn't being literal and everything. But at the same time, I mean, if this is same people on the left who are accused of the president of saying one thing when in reality he was actually joking. Okay, and they would run off with that as truth and try to go ahead and criticize him as if the reason why he shouldn't even be in office. Okay, so the point of the matter is, and I'm a former leftist myself, and I used to fall for this. I fell for this myself plenty of times and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, they play with semantics and stuff all the time and everything. But that's nothing new. I mean, that's just what they always do and stuff. And like I said earlier, they went to Hassan's contact his employer and made a big ruckus about him right when he said something that isn't even true. Okay, about himself, saying that he was a fascist, but in reality, I mean, sort of he is, just not in the way that, they think, because they think the word fascist is related to, people who are on the right.
But don't forget that what the pre-narrative really was from these people was that the right was going to be running some sort of like cope to try to rein our side in for the optics battle, and the opposite happened. What happened was the left wing attacked like a bunch of fucking piranha fish and have decided that they're going to eat this guy right down to the bones and make an example out of him. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to make a fucking example out of this guy. And it's not now. Is it working? So I made this point over on X. This guy was like, "This is exactly what should happen to Nazis and fat." And I just pointed out, like, look, if the guy wasn't a fascist or a Nazi or whatever before, if you ruin his life, he's definitely going to be then. You know what I mean? He's
Now, the crazy part about it is that they're destroying him. They had to destroy him. And when you use that kind of scorched earth tactic, don't be surprised when you end up making the guy a martyr and stuff. Now, people are actually setting up GoFundMe's for him, and they're rallying behind him, not because they agree with everything he said, but because they're sick of this insane political purge culture. Now, it's not about whether you're right or wrong anymore. It's about whether the mob likes you. And if they don't, they come for your job as well as your family and your future.
definitely going to be then. And who is it that he should run to? The people who are now handing him a bunch of money over on his, GoFundMe or whatever it is that he's collecting money on, who say that they're fascist, or the people who made it so that he had to run to them for the money to begin with.
Yep.
These people are stupid. And they, by the way, this always backfires when they do this to somebody. It's not very long after that before some leftist gets exposed, basically saying some other crazy and the same thing happens to them, and then they cry foul. So
Yeah, well, you're gonna
yeah.
martyr the guy, aren't you? If you try and destroy him completely, you're gonna martyr him, and then he'll probably be pushed to some sort. I mean, he probably already does exist in somewhat of like a far reach of the internet, and he probably has a little. I've never seen the guy's work, but I think he probably has a little fan base and people who watch his stuff, and like a little community. And then all of a sudden, he went and said the based thing online, and he got martyred for it, and now he's like going to be a hero amongst those guys, and they're going to prop him up even more. So his movement or whatever he's trying to do might grow.
And the crazy part is the real danger here is not Mehdi Hassan, it's the precedent. You see, we're not even allowed to hear an opinion, as people like Andrew Wilson will always say, that hear an opinion that we don't like without trying to wipe a person off the map. That's not civic values right there. That's actually tyranny wrapped in hashtags and progressive language. Now, if we don't stop it, well, no one is safe. One wrong word and they'll be coming for you next. Okay, so Hassan, not Hassan, Andrew Wilson is definitely spot on about this. And just in the usual, nature, Andrew Wilson has definitely destroyed Sam Seder over his weak, insane comments and stuff. And the fact of the matter is like we need people like Andrew Wilson to go ahead and not only educate us, but also put the woke left in their places. So let me know your thoughts about this on how Andrew Wilson obliterated Sam Seder for his insane statements in the comments below.